Hello, Next Geners. Welcome to our Friday form preview. It's been a couple of weeks. We had a busy autumn. We just let the shoulders down. I popped down to the Bull. Hayden couldn't escape from family life, but picked a couple of winners for the page last week, and we're ready to get stuck into a dual Group 1 day across two states on Saturday, Hayden. Add to that the Ramsden Stakes at Flemington, which is a ticket into the Melbourne Cup.
Yeah, very exciting week coming up. They're very exciting couple of little, I really enjoy the little carnivals, the Brisbane and South Australian carnivals. They're both very exciting. It was good to see you co-train the hurdle winner. That was very exciting to see down at Warrnambool. A little bit of a Where's Wally sort of set up with you down at Warrnambool. Just bobbing up in screenshots here, there and everywhere. Positioned yourself nicely next to young Amy with the trainer of the odds-on favourite. Just a little bit of me time on racing.com there.
I didn't bet in the race, but I was cheering for Amy. For those who came along to our very first it's pretty much been our only Next Gen event at Moonee Valley. Amy was actually a guest speaker that night. So, it was great to see Amy win one of the features, the Briley, on the first day of the carnival. There were some good stories at Warrnambool. Brett Scott, obviously, a couple of months ago, he was in a coma after being kicked in the head, and then he won the Gallywood as a trainer. Never won it as a jumps jockey, but did win it as a trainer. And then I thought the Grand Annual was a ripping clash between Gold Medals and ZM. Unfortunately, I was on ZM, but that was a cracker of a race. So plenty of good stories across the week. Ladon de V won the Warrnambool Cup, a horse that you've had a little bit of time for from his overseas profile. I'm trying to think off the top of my head now who won the Wangoom.
Innkeeper for young Dean Holland.
That's right.
Sensational result.
Yep, Simon Wild, the local trainer, getting the win there. I can say I didn't get that winner on the day, but great Warrnambool Carnival. And then last Saturday, I did post a few tips, and we had a couple of winners. Ayrton, we probably $1.40 in hindsight was probably pretty easy money if you wanted to have a bet at it. Certainly was one out in the quaddie job, and looks a real talent heading up to Queensland. I think the Fred Best Classic is the next start, and win that, and he should get into the Stradbroke and be one of the real main dangers there. A couple winners in Adelaide as well. Explosive Jack winning the SA Derby was quite a win. Now an AJC Derby winner and a South Australian Derby winner, and I think he's going to head to Queensland for the Queensland Derby and try and win 3 derbies.
It'll be a phenomenal effort to win 3 derbies. I don't think he's racing the strongest crop I've seen, hence the opportunity to do so, but pretty much to win more than 1 derby in a campaign is a sensational effort. He's a very, very lightly raced horse, and majority of wins to date have been derbies. So sensational effort.
All right, let's get stuck into the form, because you've done the form for pretty much the main races in Adelaide and Queensland, as well as the Ramsden. So let's start at home at Flemington with the Ramsden. The winner gets into the Melbourne Cup. Last year was Ocean X. The year before, it was Steel Prince beating Surprise Baby in a cracking edition of the Ramsden. This year, we've got 9 runners after 1 scratching. Constantinople, I'll get up the tab odds here. Constantinople, I think, is at about $51. He was favourite for the Melbourne Cup at one point in 2019, and has had a bit of a few little hiccups along the way. Kiramar have 3, and Dave Eustace, I should say, have 3 runners. Grand Promenade, Persan, and Through Irish Eyes, the St. Ledger winner. We've got Mohican Heights for Chris Waller. Miami Bound has been backed today with looking at a wet track, and she comes through the Sydney Cup, as does Realm of Flowers, who's the favourite for Anthony and Sam Freeman. Stephen Pateman has Lion Share, and Danny O'Brien also has Salto Angel.
All eyes on the weather. Going to be for this event. All eyes on the weather. Persan, clearly class runner. Forgive him for last start, take him off his previous handful of starts, and you would mark him heavy odds on in a race like this. Forgive him for 1, and you're getting in the $4 range. S5, S6, S7 won't harm his chances whatsoever. Stable Flying, doubt they would put him into this race if they didn't think he was a serious winning chance. Our little girl, Miami Bound, probably gets her best opportunity since her Moonee Valley demolition job going back to October of last year to really do some damage here. I think this 24, 25, 26, 27, 2800 metre range is her go. I think she'll run a cracking race here, and you're going to get a good little each way price to find out. Mohican Heights is definitely a runner who's a climber. I've been taken by his campaign up until now. Unfortunately, Cuzzy Bro sustained a horrible injury last night from what looked to be a pretty harmless sort of fall at Pakenham. Come up with a broken leg, and later reported today that he's also done his ACL. So all thoughts are there with Michael Walker, and hopefully he can get himself back on track. And then you've got the leapers in the race, such as Realm of Flowers, and even to some extent through Irish Eyes. But I think the main two in the battle will be Persan. If he can rebound and run up to his better numbers, he can run in the 2 range, which would make him hard to beat. And the horse who's going to be motoring at him late will be Miami Bound.
I think John Pompey posted a question in the page, Hayden. Persan, forgive or forget. Did you have, could you find any excuses for last start? Because I know the stable couldn't with Persan.
Going through his profile, his previous 2 starts have been run at pretty brutal sort of tempos, plus 6.7 and plus 6.5 through the first section, sustained speed through the mid, accelerated hard late on both occasions. Possibly just a little flat run there, stepping up to the 2600. Other than that, chance something wasn't right with him. That was a severe drop-off last 200. Wasn't a typical drop-off. It wasn't conditioning. There could have been a complication with him. Did he choke down late? You know, did he take a bad step and hurt himself? Who knows? But this, you know, that was a 5.6 length decline over the last 200, and for a horse who's traditionally really strong through the last 200, normally sustains his speed over those distances. That was a severe drop off. So the stable think that got him right. I would be forgiving of that. Betting markets will be interesting on the day though.
Yeah, I'm happy to forgive him as well. I saw it similar to you, Persan on top with Miami Bound as the saver, and I think I remember you saying when we did our Melbourne Cup preview that you thought maybe 3,200 was a step too far for Miami Bound. But if we had a 2,800 metre Melbourne Cup off her Moonee Valley Gold Cup win, you could see her enjoying that step up from 2,500. So correct me if I'm wrong, if I'm putting words in your mouth, but I think you might have said that.
No, I didn't. I don't recall. But I was taken by her performance in the Sydney Cup, was run at a slow speed. Her increase in speed through the midsection was fantastic. Her last 400 was brutal. She looks like a stronger mare this time in, and there's a big chance still we haven't seen the very, very best of her to date.
Yes, and we know that mares do improve, not all, but it's not uncommon for mares to improve as they get older, as we've seen with horses like Very Elegant and who's that Godolphin horse I'm thinking of? Sabatiano. She's going to new levels. All right, so I'm Persan with the saver on Miami Bound as well. Let's go to race 4 at Adelaide now, Hayden, because I know you've done a number of these group races. I'm going to simply guide you and you tell us where you want to go with the punters. Tab Proud Mistakes, race 4. It's a group 3 for the fillies and mares. Rubisaki, $2.40. Brooklyn Hustle, $3.10. Smoking Val, $7. Hummer, $7.50.
Good little race, this one. Exciting little race. JLK gets on to Brooklyn Hustle at her home deck. Jamie Lee Carr is brutal in Melbourne, but don't forget, when you get Jamie back in Adelaide, it's like getting the Cats down at Kardinia Park. She's a home ground bully, and she made what she is today at this track. This is this horse's best opportunity for a long time to win a race. She gets in beautifully here. Small field, massive tick, and a race with not a lot of speed. She's got a brutal last 400-metre dash. She's got brutal straight line speed, which will have her in good stead here. I think the market's got them the wrong way round. I marked her on top of Rubisaki. I think there's a big gap between the rest of them. Hummer, Wild Vixen. But Brooklyn Hustle for mine will be mighty hard to beat here.
All right, that's a fair push. Race 5's the Tab South Australian Fillies Classic. 3-year-old fillies, 2,500 metres. $2.80 favourite is Godolphin's Flexible. Damien Oliver rides. Mimi's Award, $5. Lana Cord, $6.50. $8 for Checkerboard and $12 the rest.
Difficult race. Always is this style of race. Checkerboard is an interesting runner at a big price, around that $8, $9 quote, but not a betting race. Flexible Oliver Cummings sort of gets in as the neutral favourite with people looking for who could possibly be favourite. So you get the big stable combined with the big rider. You've got runners such as My Rock Ali, who looks like a leaper, as does the other one there that I've lost. Can't remember its name. Penso Ali, which is the Mar Eustace runner at about 30. You probably get somewhere between $30 and $50 on the day. Not a betting race for mine. Checkerboard hard to beat. Respect Flexible looks like a climber. My Rock Ali and that big roughy Penso Ali.
All right. Race 6, Centuro Stakes. This is a listed race. A Shot Till I Drop, the local for Tony and Calvin McAvoy, $3.50. Peter Moody's In Good Health at $3.70. Ecumenical, $8.50. Zaydani, $9.50.
Good race. Looks like a little bit of a class discrepancy here between a couple of runners. In Good Health, at its very, very best in this mile to 2,000 metre range, is a genuine low-tier group style horse, where the rest of these are sort of your Saturday off-season sort of setup. Damien on board for Moody. Again, question whether the market's got this one spot on. I would mark it favourite and think it'll take a ton of catching from the front. Big increase in speed last start after 43-day freshen up. That'll have it battle hardened here and can leap. If it goes into the 1.5 range, good luck beating that from the front. Shot Till I Drop, Must Respect, nice horse. The Vorsterman and McAvoy, it already sits in that benchmark to +1/2 range, so it will take some beating. It can scare the favourite. It can scare the one mentioned In Good Health if it doesn't show up. And then you go back to horses like Ecumenical, who are always triers in races like this. Mackie Mac for Stackhouse and Matt Laurie, respected, would be very keen if it was wet. Then you go to horses like Zoosonic and Kentucky Tornado, but keen. In Good Health is the one to beat.
Yeah, certainly was running around the right sort of horses in the spring to be really competitive in this sort of race. The R.A. Lee Stakes is race 7. Group 3, Vacillator is a $3.60 favourite. Dr. Drill, $4.20. Morvada, $7. Lord of Vladivostok, $8.50. Magna Bella, $8.50. And then Pakadali and Hasta War, $13, $16 the rest.
Another interesting race. Does anyone ran Colin Little and let him know that this isn't at Flemington?
I don't think so.
Very interesting to see Vacillator travel. Horse flying, Miles suits, Damien on, hard to beat. Like the setup with Dr. Drill. Jamie on board. Really smart horse, nice horse. I don't think we've ever really seen the best of him. He's got an interesting profile. Jamie suits, ideal rider. He'll scare the life out of Damien with Vacillator. And he can position himself hard on speed. And I think he will be the horse to catch. Whether Damien can get him or not, I'm not sure. Happy with the market placement with those two. Then respect horses like Morvada, Lord Vladivostok. Interesting runners, Pakadali. Lane on board. Think he's going okay. Big price.
All right. Race 8, we get to the Group 1 Goodwood. G-Tra, $3.20 favourite. First up here, he's got a great record first up. Behemoth, $4.40. Instant Celebrity, the Sangster winner at $6. Camel Pars is $10. Bo Ross is $10. Dirty Work is $14. And then it's $18 the rest. This is a pretty handy Group 1.
Why is this on the same day as the 1,200 metre race at Doomben?
And John Pompey asked the exact same question. It's going to take me a little while to get that up. But, yeah, he basically asked what our thoughts were with 2 Group 1 1,200 metre sprints on the same day. It needs to be changed, doesn't it? It's they haven't got this right at all. I think they need to move the Sangster and the Goodwood back. If they move everything back 2 weeks, you can pretty much go from an all-aged 2 weeks back into a Sangster, something like that, 2 weeks into a Goodwood, or just you could have the Everest and then the Sangster 2 weeks later, and Sydney horses can come later for the Goodwood. But it doesn't make sense in my mind to have the Goodwood and the Doomben 10,000 on the same day.
2 race clubs that are just crying out for all eyes on me style attention.
Yeah.
To go competing with their biggest races, or their biggest races on the day, head to head, and like the Showtime style ticket is to get all the big sprinters in into one field, and you combine the big race in Doomben in with this race at Morphettville. And it's an electric Group 1 wherever you get it. And, why wouldn't the 2 clubs talk to each other and say, okay, we'll put each other on 21 days apart, and we'll put a $2 million bonus up if you can get the double. And then all of a sudden it's, and each year we'll swap, we'll rotate, we'll go one to the other. So you can be the grand final one year and we'll be the grand final the next. So it doesn't make any sense to me, but oh well.
Well,
The
Brisbane Carnival has to come second because it rolls into, the meetings like the Stradbroke and that. But, yeah, perhaps the Doomben meeting has to get pushed back a couple of weeks to give the Goodwood a bit of clean air, because it would have been great to see Eduardo and Behemoth up against G-Tra and Trekking, Instant Celebrity. Put these 2 fields together, it would have been a great race.
Yeah, that's right. You end up with half a field of Group 3 horses in against a couple of Group 1.
Yeah.
Oh, well, is what it is. Interesting race. G-Tra nervous here, mate. Synthetic hoof filler on first time in with coming back from knee chips, removed 196-day break. Deary me, taking $3. He's a star, G-Tra. I don't think the stable would risk him from an Everest point of view to fail in the Goodwood, but you're asking for a mighty tough task. He's a star. I must respect him, but gee, this is a mountain to climb. I'd mark him at the bottom end of his IVR profile, which has him in the 2.5 to 3 range. I wouldn't take him on his monstrous Randwick performance. You sort of base him around anywhere in between that 1.5 to bottom of the 3, like 3 at max, which opens the race right up. Not opens the race right up, I'm sorry, but does bring others into contention. we feel like we've seen G-Tra, Behemoth, Camel Passer all race each other, and it always feels like G-Tra's better than Behemoth and Behemoth's better than Camel Passer.
Mm.
So you could be confident that you could nail those three in that order. And then there's the Smoking Gun, who will go on top for me, crying out for dry ground, 1,200 tick. Melbourne's version of the J-Mac, Jai McNeil on board. I think it's last hurrah for a Group 1 for Dirty Work, and this is his race. I've got him on top of G-Tra. And you'll get a double-figure price. I'm happy there. I think he's a top 3. Not a lock, but he's close to it. Him on top of G-Tra, Behemoth, and Viridine as the big smoky in the race.
So it's currently a soft 5, 20% chance of rain tomorrow. So you're comfortable with Dirty Work, soft 5, 1,200 metres?
Good drying track, Morphettville. If they don't get any rain, race G4. That's his go.
All right, that's a fair push. Obviously, Dirty Work has been one that we have followed for a while now and just hasn't been able to get that dry track, has it? We were on in the Galaxy, even though it was soft. But I think we were both on Eduardo in the Galaxy, but we thought Dirty Work could run well as an each way, ran 4th. First up in the Oakley Plate was just so unlucky. That it was a moral beaten half a length in 5th. And I think we'll get $11 that day. So, yeah, I'm happy to, not going to talk you out of Dirty Work there, but certainly G-Tra is a classy horse. I didn't know about the synthetic hoof filler. So you opened my eyes there, because $3 is dangerous when you've got the synthetic hoof filler. I assume we'll flick over to Doomben now. Hayden, race 4 at Doomben.
We're going to, the synthetic hoof filler's off first time.
Oh, well, that's a win.
That's a win. I had just a little warning there of synthetic hoof filler. That's a massive win. So apologies to anybody who's panicked because they've taken the early price. It's a massive win that the synthetic hoof filler is off. But I'll still take Dirty Work from the H-Way. If I'm getting the place price Dirty Work versus the win price G-Tra, I'm still happy to be involved. I'm confident that he could beat one of Camel Passer or Behemoth home. And I think there's a bit of a class gap outside of those. Yeah,
and I think we probably make our best returns when we sort of find these horses are good odds and go small to win, bigger the place. And you can make some good money simply betting like that rather than taking the favourites. But no knock G-Tra, because he's a super horse, and his first up figures last prep. It was nearly the run of the spring from an IVR perspective. Let's go to, and by the way, I think Dirty Work, this is a career finale, off to stud at Spendthrift after this, so they'll be searching for that Group 1 win.
Good luck to the boys at Spendthrift.
Yeah, definitely Josh Ricks and the guys there. Race 4 at Doomben is a Group 3 JRA Chairman's Trophy. Hangman, $3.50. I think we tipped him 2 starts ago. Last start as an each-way play at $9 and ran 3rd to Pars of Glory. So that was a good each-way play there. He's in good form. So you win, $5.50. Warning, the old VRC Derby winner is $6. Cedar Power 9, Get Stuck in $9.50. How are you seeing this 2,000 metre contest, race 4 at Doomben?
Doomben, on speed. I want to be on speed all day, bottomless racetrack. Yep. Dealing with a lot of moisture in the ground. So I'm keen. Horses who can handle the ground, and race 4 to midfield is where I want to be all day. Hangman, on the basic profiles, was a chips in job until the rain fell. And I am of the opinion that he is an out-and-out dry tracker, which brings him right back to the field. Not a lot of advantages here. You've got a couple of horses. You've got 3 horses who will push forward at big odds, who all get through the ground. Cedar Power, Walking, Flying, Get Stuck In, all push forward. So it's a style of race where you can see a big double-figure winner, and it could be one of those 3. Of those, I wanted to find the real duck in the race. And my instincts tell me that it is Walking, Flying, and he is going well. Query with him's 2,000 metres. If it was a mile, I'd be super confident that he wouldn't miss the money. But the little question mark with him's up to the 2,000. So if they don't go too silly in front, he will be there somewhere. So I was not real keen, but I was Walking, Flying, Get Stuck In, Respect, Warning, and Hangman as the class runners in the race. No knocks, so you win. Just can't find the 2 lengths that he needs at the moment to get into these races. So I think, I don't know, with him, I'm sort of just neutral.
Yep. Okay. No worries there. I'll flick over to race 5 now. Spirit of Boom Classic. Gee, he was a good Queensland horse, wasn't he? 2-year-old Group 2 race here. We've got a couple of horses that were running in some nice races in Sydney over the autumn. Giannis is $4.80. Prince of Boom is $5. See You in Spring, $5.50. Tiger of Malay is one of those horses I'm referring to, $6. Mautai, $7. Miss Hipster, $7.50.
Really taken by a horse in this race. This is a dry track. I'd be really keen to get involved with Mautai. Wet track, not much good this crop. It's hard to say they're not much good, but at the moment they're a little bit behind expectations. And I was really taken by his performance at Ipswich. And I know he's a bit of a head case too. I was reading an interesting article. If you get a spare moment, jump on board and have a look. Trainer Casey Fogden has had a lot of issues with this horse. He's a bit of a head case, and he's got wind chimes and bags and all sorts of rubbish hanging around any stable. I think he's blessed with a little bit of ability. He will jump raw to the front. And I'll give you another bit of advice. Andrew Main's a very, very smart rider on wet tracks. He's extremely well balanced and he gives horses a lot of confidence underneath him. So, you know, if you can get horses with him on, he doesn't sit in the traditional mould of the Nashua Willers and the James McDonalds of the world, but he is definitely not a negative on a day on a heavy track up there. So I was taken by him, and he'll be an each way price. I'd love it to be a dry track because I'd be really keen that he would be winning. Then you go away from him and you've got horses like Tiger of Malay with Nash for Cash on board. He's the benchmark horse in the race. Not really taken by his performances with a bit of juice out of the ground, but his best is certainly good enough to scare the life out of this lot. Really nice runner from Adelaide. Ran here, then ran in Adelaide, goes up to Queensland for the Busset and Young camp called See You in Spring. Nice horse. Will be ultra competitive in a race like this, and on speed racing profile, massive advantage. Bucket more on board. And then Giannis, a bit neutral on Giannis. I want to see Giannis go a bit better than what it has before I get excited about a runner like that.
And you don't want to go the son of Spirit of Boom in the Spirit of Boom Classic, being Prince of Boom?
Prince of Boom didn't make my numbers. The sneaky one in the race, I do apologise. I missed one. There's one will fly in the wet track. It's called Frontman for the Freedman camp. For the J-Max. So he would go into second position for me. It'd be Matawi, or whatever his name was. Mautai. Frontman, Tiger, See You in Spring.
Okay.
They're the horses that I narrowed that down to. But really open. Anything better than benchmark win the race.
All right. The Canadian Club Rough Habit Plate. October. This was a super winner last start at Randwick. I don't have IVR figure there, but maybe you'll give the punters a cheeky insight into what this horse did about 3 weeks ago. High Supremacy ran second to October and is the $3.70 second favourite. Quay, pretty exposed horse at $5. Cucaracha is $8. Chris Waller has fortified at 16. It opens up after that. It's really a race in three or four for the punters.
Just to lead up to the Derby?
2,000 metres, 3-year-olds. Yes, it would be.
All right, well, your Derby winner's going to go around here in Senor Toba. You can mark it down. I don't know what price that is for the Derby, but boy, oh boy, wowee. If this was a dry track, you would just be collecting. But you get the wet track, which drags a couple back in. He's got a little wet track number from Sale, which gives me some confidence that he's going to get it. If he thrives in it, he'll kill them. So I've marked him on top. The one who will thrive in it, well, I got the instinct that he will thrive, and it will be the Freedman Runner High Supremacy. He's going to be the horse to beat from Senor Toba's camp. But Senor Toba is the horse to beat in the race from High Supremacy. Then they fall away into that benchmark range with the ton of horses who have got that, you know, I've only got to find 2 lengths to start to put myself into the conversation. But racing 2, Senor Toba, extremely hard to beat.
So who you got on top?
Senor Toba.
All right. Are you betting?
Yes. I mean, I'll take the risk on the wet ground.
And we've got...
He's worth the risk.
$4.50 Explosive Jack for the Derby, $5 for Senor Toba.
Oh, he'll blow Jack's brains in.
All right. You've heard it here first. Tab Boomin, 10,000. It's the 1,200 metre Group 1 weight for age. Eduardo, $1.90 favourite. Wild Ruler 5, Trekking 850. Splintex 10, Vega 114, Graph 19, Wild Planet 23, the Harrovian 26, Kingswood Dream 41, Panino 71, and Embrace Me at $101. Eduardo at 1,200 on a wet, heavy track at $1.90.
He's a swimmer. Doomben, extremely hard to catch. If he gets through that first section in his little zone, Natural Willer will toot the horn on the corner, and it might be see you later. He's got massive track advantage here, massive, and he gets through the ground, so he gets even more advantages. 1,200 won't bother him. Nash will probably get off and walk him last 100. I couldn't tell you to back the truck up, but you might feel silly after it. But, you know, $1.80, $1.90. If you get a handful of these things go around every day, ultimately you're going to get beat. So make your own mind up if you want to back him or not. You're going to be in a world of pain trying to beat him. Then you got to just pin the horses who are going to stalk him. So you got Wild Ruler will jump. You know, I'm a big fan of that horse. This is going to be his big test. He's going to get the speed to really find out what he's made of. Yeah. If Eddie can break him, if Eddie breaks him, so be it. But I wouldn't be surprised if he gave Ed something to think about. If he's still with Ed with 100 to go, he'll beat him. But it's whether he can keep up. When Nash twists the screws through the mid-race, I don't know whether Nash will be... I'll be interested to see the tactic Nash adopts here, whether he wants to go handlebars down out of the gates and say, okay, I'm just going to make you chase me, or knowing Nash, he'll just try and get him through the first section. It's hard to say. It's really hard to say because he's done it both ways on this horse. But the day he got the heavy track, he just put the handlebars down and they couldn't get him. So, yeah, him, Splintex will posse bang on his tail. And then you've got the horse who is the smoking gun in the race would be a horse like Wild Planet. But it's whether he can handle that first section. If he can keep in touch, he can run first 3, he'll be 30-1. And then all eyes will be on whatever Trekking does late going into the 1,350 metre race at Eagle Farm, because that's his go.
Yeah.
Make a sense? Ed Wood should win.
All right. I thought Splintex at the small to win, bigger the place was for me. Eduardo simply flying this horse, but I can't touch $1.90. As good as he's going, I'd rather take $2.50 for Splintex to place. Splintex was super last start, beating Ranier, who we were on a massive odds to run a place at Randwick. That was Group 3 level. This horse, Splintex, is just in really good form. Has 2 wins from 2 heavy runs. Now, the wet track indicator isn't huge, but the horse does get through the wet. And you might look 2 starts back at the Galaxy and say, well, Eduardo beat Splintex by 8 lengths, but Splintex drew barrier 14 that day and was forced to go back. I don't think that's his normal pattern. Josh Parr here from barrier 1. As you said, I think he jumps. He jumped really well last start. Sit on Eduardo's back and at least be in the finish. I'm happy to go small to win, big the place there. Question from Ryan Hayden. Does Eduardo get 1,200 or does the big trek gobble him up at the 100-meter mark? Also, I'm looking for someone to talk me out of remortgaging my place to back G-Tra.
I know Ryan personally. Got to calm down sometimes.
So you're not giving trekking a chance?
I can't see him winning off the race shape. They'd have to make big errors from the front.
Yeah.
Because I just can't see him holding a position in the first 6, which will make it extremely hard to be winning from anywhere further back than that. They'd have to make big errors, and the fence would want to capitulate by that stage of the day for them to make ground in a race like this. So I can't knock the horse because he's a monster at his best.
He's really a black horse, though, isn't he? Like you think back to that Manicato Stakes night where I was on Hey Doc, knowing that Hey Doc would be out in front and trekking and need luck to try and weave through and get over the top. And Eduardo's probably a better leader than Hey Doc, as good as Hey Doc is on his day. But with all favours on pace, wet track, he's going to need a bit of luck trekking.
Very much so. So I can't talk him in and I can't talk him out. He'll have to wait for me to communicate with him on Saturday morning in order of whether the house goes up for
G-Tra
or not. At the moment, I wouldn't be heading in that direction.
Okay. Race 8. So let me just check again. You're not backing Eduardo at $1.90, but you've got him on top.
I got him on top, but I couldn't back him.
All right. And are you backing anything else?
In the race?
Yep.
No.
All right. The Magic Millions Bright Shadow listed race. Our girl Fiesta, I think we see her for the last time here. If not, she might have one more start, but she's off to a broodmare sale. She's $7.50, third favourite with Outback Barbie. The favourite's a Theory at $3.20. Intrepidatious is the second favourite at $5.50.
This was the remortgage job, and then the track come up heavy.
Yeah.
So then the little question mark gets asked. She'll get through it, but the risk factor goes right up. Clearly the horse to beat, a Theory. Love her. A nice little positive run from her, and you get her to Dry Track, Eagle Farm, and you'll be making some money. The one who comes right into contention now with the wet track, there's a swimmer here, and it's Barbie. Barbie's the duck. Barbie gets the massive track advantage and gets a star rider on board on the heavy. He's as good as they possibly get. J-Mac, heavy track. This horse ever going to win another race, it's this one. So Barbie on the each way looks the play.
Yep.
Or you can 2-bet strategize that with a Theory, because, don't be mistaken. If it's a dry track 1,200 metres, the Theory makes a mess of Outback Barbie. Then Once you look away from those, the race rips right open. Socializing is a really nice horse. Wet track against these, not 100% sure. Fiesta, ditto, impossible race shape. And not convinced with her on the wet either. So racing 2 for mine. Barbie on the each way. Very difficult to see how she misses the each way against these. Especially if she can hold her position through the first section. If she can just maintain that midfield position, be nice for her to get a horse like Socializing to come across and give her a smother. And even if she sat 3 wide in the train, if the J-Mac could head out into the middle of the track and get somewhere around the 8 off the fence mark, she's going to be motoring to the line. So nice little way to finish. Forget race 9, you're better off save your money for the following week.
All right, let's wrap up again. Ramsden, which horse is guaranteeing its ticket into the Melbourne Cup?
Miami Bound.
Okay, I'll be with Personal. Saver on Miami Bound. Who wins the Goodwood?
G-Trail's the most probable winner. Dirty Work's a very good place each way back. Dirty Work can beat him.
I got G-Char on top as well, but I do love Dirty Work, and I'm happy with your push to have something on him. And in the Doomben 10,000?
Ed.
I'll be on Splintex each way. Not saying Eduardo can't win, but $1.90, I'd rather bet the $2.50 the place. Splintex. All right, I'll just have a look at questions on Facebook. James Allpress, top 3 jockeys to follow throughout Saturday based on their Booker rides and current form. It's a tough question.
Oh, well, Brisbane, J-Mac, heavy track, massive advantage.
Yep.
JLK is a monster at Morphettville.
Yep.
So just be very cautious on whatever she sits on. She's mighty hard to beat over there. Melbourne's a tough one, Melbourne. I would split Melbourne between 3 guys at the moment who are riding quite well.
Yeah.
Zara's a bit of a bully when the big boys go away and he hangs around.
Yeah. Ben Allen is riding as good as anyone in Victoria right now. Really taken by the way he's riding. He's lifted his aggression level, which he needed to do, and his judgment and riding wise is very, very good at the moment. And John McNeil would be the other one. I know I haven't stepped too far out of the normal boundaries there, so I apologise, J. Mac Carr and Zara. But probably the other one would be Damien. Oliver at Morphettville. Damien's got a dangerous book of rides over there, and he's got a big day in him brewing. All right, mate, good to chat. Anything else you wanted to add us with? Is there anything going around at Sha Tin on Sunday, or have you got another little smoky somewhere?
No, not necessarily. I'm excited about the debut of Weet-Bix Wilson for the Magpies. Very excited about Tom Wilson making his debut. In terms of horses to follow, we'll put one, because we like to have our little black book moments here. And I'm going to just keep a little eye on Wild Planet from a Stradbroke perspective.
Okay.
Nice timing about that horse.
Yeah.
And he's the right horse. You know, I'm not a futures punter unless I'm getting, you know, between 50 and 100 to 1 sort of set up for horses. But we could go and have a look quickly at what price he would be in a race like a Stradbroke. He's one that we want to keep a bit of an eye on because I've just noticed a few things through his profile that he could be a really, really dangerous runner in a race like that. And the camp's super, super smart.
And there's one going around at Flemington before we go. Race 7. We've got Ranting carrying 63.5 kilos as an 89 rater against a bunch of benchmark 78s. Just hypothetically, a horse carrying 63.5 kilos in this sort of race, are you worried about that on a soft track?
No. No concern. Two clickers will come off him, so he's 61.5. And I reckon if you go and flick up the local maidens, you'll see horses carrying 59 kilos every day and winning.
Mm.
So in terms of weight, zero concern. When you get up to that style of weight, you don't want horses in. When you get up to anywhere past 61, you don't want horses in farcically slow races, and you don't want horses in farcically fast races. If you can get them at an even sort of tempo where they're not asked for a massive exertion through the mid-race or they're not asked for an electric sprint, the horse's momentum with that weight, zero concern.
All right, with it.
And ultimately, you're just going to get $3 or $4 better. I think if you remember back, Damien won on a horse for McAvoy, might have been late last year, carried about 64. You know, after you give the 1 kilo allowance for the vest, I think he had about 64 kilos on his back, and he got into that moderately run race. And you know, you're getting $4 or $5 about a horse who, if you took 2 kilos off it, you'd be marking them odds on. So, zero concerns.
Good little lesson there for the punters. I think my internet's starting to crap itself, Hayden. So we'll finish up there, mate. Good punting. Good luck on your dual Group 1 day. I'll be out at Flemington and hopefully we find the next gen of some winners.
Good luck. Enjoy. Happy punting.
See you, mate.
Bye.